Hi parents and families. I just wanted to check in and make sure that I'm giving you access to all of the activities that I'm assigning to your students. We're looking at things that are building academic skills, and even though they don't look like academics, like it's not like we're looking at numbers and we're not looking at ABCs or reading skills right now, we're looking at pre-academic skills. And these are things that are going to be able to give you skills to be able to connect with exactly what you want to do for academics later on. Things like matching, seeing similarities and differences between things, being able to cut on lines and follow directions. I'll give you all the materials that you need. I will give you the skills that you're working on, and I will also teach you exactly how to do each step and how to progress them so that they get more and more complex and then lead you into academic skills. Hope this is helpful. Thanks. So to make a puzzle, I have a few things. First, I have a Sharpie. You can also use a pencil if that's easier, but I find that a Sharpie is really easy to see. I also have scissors. I have computer paper. I happen to have construction paper at home, so I'm going to use that as well. And I also happen to have scrapbook paper, so it has the design on it, and I can match the design almost like a real puzzle, and I match the picture and create the picture again. I'm going to start with a small piece where I actually just draw lines on my piece. So I'm going to draw some straight lines, and I'm also going to draw some squiggly lines, and I'm also going to draw some rounded lines. So all these things right on the front of my page. So I've taken my pieces and I've cut them all apart so that I have a number of different shapes and parts that are going to make up my actual puzzle. What's important here is that I don't go back and forth on my lines and I create gaps in my cutting. I want to actually just cut right on a straight line, and I want to keep cutting all the way through. It doesn't matter if it's a perfect line, it doesn't matter if it's a perfect shape. If you are working on that, draw something on there. Draw something for your child to trace with their scissors. That's a great skill. But don't teach them to go back and forth and try and fix it, because that's going to create gaps in your puzzle. So now that I have all the parts of my puzzle, I'm going to lay them out so they're not in order and it's not obvious that they all match together. I'm going to let my child take the time to put them back together, and it shouldn't look perfect, but it should look pretty close. You can see that my puzzle's put back together. It's not quite perfect though, so I want to make sure that I go in there and I actually move my pieces together so they fit back together, and I can see that they fit quite nicely. There you go. That's how you build a puzzle. And you can do any shape that you like, any idea that you like, and I'm going to do a word puzzle in 2 ways. And the first thing I want you to do is your child's name. Now you can see that I've actually written my name in 2 different ways. I've got a bit of a gap version on top, so where my letters are all separate, and I've got a more continual version on the bottom where there's no gaps between my letters and it makes a continual name. I'm going to show you the 2 different ways that I want you to try to do a name puzzle. The first way that I'd like you to try it is by actually making your name or your child's name into the picture that you want to put back together. So you can see that I've cut up my name and I'm going to put them back together in the right order. Just like that. So I want to be able to see my name as the picture that I'm trying to build. If your child knows all their letters and knows the letters in their name, you can cut up each individual letter as a strip. And I want you to try and get your child to put them back together. Here it's really important that we use capitals at the beginning of our name in order to indicate which is the first letter, especially in a name like mine where I have 2 A's and 2 N's. I want to make sure that I know which letter is the first letter. Another really important thing to try in this word building game is that I want to put the letters in the correct order. I want to start with the first letter and finish with that last letter. I don't want to build it out of order, and I don't want A to be the first letter or even the middle A to be the first letter that I put down. I always want to start with that first letter of my name to teach that direction is important, but also that my name has value and has meaning. Something else that's really important to try in this piece of the puzzle is to make sure that you name each letter. So as you put the D into the correct spot, you say D. Then you say E, A, N, N, A. You say each letter as you see it and you place it in its name spot. I can do the exact same thing with words that I'm learning to work on. This is the word dog. I'm going to put it back in order so that you can see that I can do a name puzzle with new words, any word that I come across that I want to learn how to read and spell. The next progression is with a full sentence. So this sentence is, my dog is cute. Notice that I have a capital at the beginning and a period where it belongs. When I go to cut this up, I'll actually cut the period off as being separate. So I want to be able to show where the period is. You could also, if you're learning about punctuation, you could leave the period attached to the word cute, and you could make that as a clue for what word comes at the end. Before you cut this puzzle, make sure that your child reads this together with you. My dog is cute. Then have them read it on their own. Then cut it together and read it word by word. Then you can put it back together. My dog is cute. Now I'm going to cut it apart. My dog is cute. And I'm going to leave that period attached. When I go to put them down on the table, I'm going to scramble them up so it's in a different order. Then I'm going to have my child put them back in order. My always comes first. Remember, we're looking at direction and we're looking at what's the beginning and what's the end. My goes first. Then dog is cute. And I'm going to check that as I read it. My dog is cute. Awesome. Now, if you want to make it harder, I am going to cut that period right off. And your child can choose. Do you want an exclamation mark? Do you want a question mark? What fits there? What makes sense? And I'm going to scramble it again, and you're going to put it back in order. My dog is cute. Period at the end of your sentence.